Hi guys, welcome back to RUE MORGUE TV. I'm executive editor Andrea Subisati, and if you're wondering what's in the box, the RUE MORGUE coffin box. It's still available, and if you'd like to check it out, use coupon code RUE MORGUE for a discount. And if you like what you're seeing on RUE MORGUE TV, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Anatomy of a Scream on RUE MORGUE TV. I'm Joe O'Brien, and today we're going to talk about some torso terror. It's 1982. It's winter. It's John Carpenter's The Thing. Coming off the independent successes of Halloween, The Fog, and Escape from New York, 1982's The Thing was John Carpenter's first kick at the studio can. Although billed as a remake of the 1951 classic The Thing from Another World, produced and some say ghost-directed by John Carpenter's favorite filmmaker, Howard Hawks, it's actually a more faithful adaptation of the original story, the 1938 novella Who Goes There by John W. Campbell.
Damn it, Charles, torch it!
Both stories involve teams of polar scientists menaced by an alien threat they find buried in the ice, and that's about where the similarities end. For the remake, Carpenter moved the setting back to the original's Antarctica setting and replaced the cast of can-do scientists and flag-waving soldiers with a motley and very grumpy crew of researchers, support staff, one hard-drinking helicopter pilot, and all of their beards. Seriously, the beard game in this movie is off the fucking chain, okay? There are more beards in this movie than a team of lumberjack bikers at a gay pride parade. It's ironic that one of the only clean-shaven members of the cast is Wilford Brimley, the 5-time winner of the Sam Elliott Award for Mustache Most Visible from Space. John Carpenter's The Thing is a movie about paranoia. Trapped with a shape-shifting alien, a group of men don't so much team up to fight it as they do turn on each other, and the whole movie turns on that thought.
He ain't tying me up.
Then I'll have to kill you, child.
Then kill me.
I mean it.
The Thing reaches its paranoid apex in the scene we're going to discuss. A masterclass in misdirection, editing, directing, writing, and special effects. In 1951, Howard Hawks lacked the technology to fully recreate this idea of a chameleonic monster. Instead, he opted for a simpler, but still pretty effective, Frankenstein-style creature, a blood-drinking vegetable from outer space. In 1982, things had changed, and John Carpenter had Rob Bottin, who crafted and hand-built all of the effects for The Thing when he was just 22 years old. What was I doing when I was 22? I'm just depressed now. At this point in the movie, all suspicions and evidence point to Kurt Russell's heroic MacReady, who, up until this point, we thought, he's the good guy, he can't possibly be a monster. But Carpenter's built the movie to such a paranoid peak that even we might start to suspect anybody could be the monster. Maybe it is Kurt Russell, maybe we're in for a real surprise. As the film reaches its paranoid peak, Carpenter executes a rather deft bit of misdirection, as the affable geologist Norris, played by Charles Hallahan, has a conveniently timed heart attack, leading us to a moment of classic terror. So as I've said, we've reached the paranoid peak of this movie. There are a lot of wheels spinning, both in terms of what's happening on camera and off. All of Bottin's special effects were shot as part of a second unit because it could take as long as 10 hours to set up, and in one case that would go disastrously wrong. This is all cut together beautifully by Todd Ramsey, the editor, who also cut Exorcist 3. There's a quick shot of the scalpel that's going to become very important later. This is a great piece of misdirection because we are focused right now on MacReady. This bit of defibrillation is almost a grace note. We're really more concerned about what's going to happen with this scalpel. The scalpel isn't even going to come into play now, but it is loaded in for a scene later. What we're about to see is Bottin's first major effect. A hydraulic chomper, basically, that's built to literally tear away a person's arms. This insert shot was shot by an amputee actor wearing a Richard Dysart mask. A very quick cutaway, hardly anyone ever notices that. But that thing was actually quite dangerous and required some safety considerations. Where they didn't take a lot of safety considerations was the idea that toxic chemicals can build up inside of prosthetic heads, and if you're not careful, they can blow up the set, which is actually what ended up happening. In the shot coming up where we see Norris's head tearing itself away, this is a second take. The first take, which, as I said, took 10 hours to set up, involved putting in all kinds of gooey stuff inside the head so that it could tear away in that beautifully grotesque way. It also built up a lot of flammable chemicals. And when director John Carpenter noticed that they had flame going on in shots like this, he needed it to match the close-up. And when they lit the flame bar, up went the set, leaving poor Rob Bottin to look at his beautiful sculpture that he had spent 3 months creating and 10 hours setting up, literally go up in flames, and he could just stand over it, and all he could say was, it's on fire. The next day, take two, and that's the one we got. It's important to remember that every single one of these visual effects, one of these animatronic effects, was purpose-built for the shot that it appears in. They don't really have a utility beyond that. And in some cases, the purpose was to get set on fire. And in the thing, a lot of things get set on fire. Here comes this beautiful puppet crab head that we only see in this one shot. The next take you'll see, they need one that's going to run across the floor rather hilariously in a bid to escape everyone else before it's outed by, ironically enough, the character of Palmer, who, spoiler alert, is also an alien duplicate. And he gives us, of course, the film's most memorable line. You've got to be fucking kidding. And while this scene is a show-stopping effects tour de force, it also serves a critical story role because it tells MacReady exactly how the thing functions. It's not one creature, it's many, many. Now, up to this point, MacReady has had a fourfold problem-solving matrix. 1, drink until it no longer feels like a problem. 2, set it on fire. 3, blow it up. 4, set it on fire, and then blow it up. But after this scene, he tries something a little different, leading to, well, another classic scene, the Thing's blood test. But that's the subject of another show. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Anatomy of a Scream on RUE MORGUE TV. I'm Joe O'Brien, and we'll see you on the next show. Stay scared.